All right, to discuss this further, we're now being joined live by John Rossimondo from Washington, D.C. He is the president of Viking Research Associates, a geostrategic and expert on national security. Thank you so much for joining us on World DNA.
Thank you for having me.
Now, of course, to begin with, Vladimir Putin has told Trump, and that's what we're hearing, that he will in fact have to respond, Moscow will have to respond to the recent Ukrainian drone attacks. Do you think a just peace can be secured in this war in the near future? Because we know Trump has always touted that peace is within reach. Now even he's saying that Vladimir Putin is not in fact ready for any immediate peace.
Well, I think if you look at what Vladimir Putin has done over the recent weeks, he's launched attacks that have gone after civilians. This attack by the Ukrainian intelligence against bomber bases across Russia doesn't constitute a terror attack, because we don't have indiscriminate attacks against unarmed civilians. You have an attack against a central part of Russia's nuclear deterrent, but as General Kellogg said, you never know what the other side is going to do. I mean, you've had talks about Russia using its Oreshnik hypersonic ballistic missiles to attack Ukrainian targets. Some people have talked about the Russians destroying the port of Odessa, which is Ukraine's only real port remaining on the Black Sea. So, who knows where this is? I think that peace is very far away.
John, when it comes to the U.S. role over here, there was one statement which came from Caroline Leavitt in that press briefing saying that the U.S. president was not aware of Ukraine's plans. But we all understand that U.S. has been the main intelligence provider to Ukraine, not from 2022, but since 2014, since Crimea happened. Till now, there hasn't been a statement from the U.S. president either. Even in the latest statement which came from the U.S. president regarding the talks with Putin, there are two lines on what happened regarding Operation Spiderweb, and then the entire rest of the post is on talks about Iran. How do you feel Putin's talks with Trump would be going forward, given the recent attack, the recent Operation Spiderweb?
Well, all I have to say is at least President Trump and Vladimir Putin are talking, because maybe that can allow cooler heads to prevail. The one thing about intelligence operations, especially with like the CIA, is it's all stovepipes. There's a lot of things that goes on that never makes its way to the president's knowledge.
Right, and just to expand on that a little further, Shivan has pretty much summed it up, and so have you. We have seen that the United States has time and again expressed its frustration, saying that neither of the two sides seem to be serious about any lasting peace. That being said, how do you assess the role of the United States, and to what extent, and what's the scope of this?
Well, I think that President Trump has said since before he became president that he wants to resolve this. So I think that the president has staked his legacy on this, but I think that we're getting to a point where the president needs to assess, his ability to be a mediator, because neither side seems interested in peace, especially the Russians that continue to occupy a third of the country. You have Ukrainian, largely symbolic attacks against Russian military assets. You have the attack today against the Kerch Strait Bridge that the Russians use to resupply their forces in Ukraine, and these attacks. So I think that we're very far away, and President Trump really needs to assess his ability to be an effective mediator.
And John, clearly those claims of settling this war within 24 hours are not going to be heard from the U.S. president again, while things only seem to be heating up further. Thanks so much for joining us. That was John Rossimondo joining us from Washington, D.C. Pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you.